Hello and good evening, everyone. Today we are going to start our session of Python and Data Analytics Internship Program, October 2025. Today we are going to cover session 25 with the topic Data Visualization with Seaborn. Okay. So till now we have seen that we were using Matplotlib in order to visualize the data that is present in the data set. Now we will use Seaborn, which is a part of Matplotlib. You can say a part, but it's not a part because it's built on top of Matplotlib. So Matplotlib is like you are starting anything from scratch. In visualization, you are doing everything on your own. But Seaborn is its advanced type in which some things are pre-built and you will be going to use them easily. You will not be going to create each and everything with your own with your own way. You will be provided with some pre-built designs or things that are already built for you, like we have done in Python. If we want to do a sum of numbers present in a list, we can use the sum function and it will do its own. We do not need to write the logic behind it. So Seaborn is that type of thing only. It is like Matplotlib, but it provides some built-in features that we are going to use. So today we are going to cover the basics, and then you will be moved to advanced Seaborn concepts in the next session. So let's start. So Seaborn is a Python data visualization library like Matplotlib. It is built on top of Matplotlib. Matplotlib is basically its base, and Seaborn is the structure that is built upon that base, above that base. So Matplotlib is a basic library for us, and Seaborn is like a advanced library for us. Okay, like you are building a house on a plot. You have bought some land. So Matplotlib is that land. You can do whichever things you want in it, and the way that you want. Okay, but you have to do everything from the scratch. Now you are going to buy a already built house, and you can do the painting of your own, paint of your own. You can choose the color or some modification, interior designing, etc. So Seaborn is like that only. Design specifically for statistical visualization, in which we basically includes numbers and etc. These things type. So for statistical visualization, we use Seaborn. It provides beautiful default styles. Okay, color platelets, like I was telling you, you whatever you want to do, like the interior designing, the color, you can do it with Seaborn. But if you want to change the structure of the house, it is not possible because you are not working from scratch. You are only using it for designing purpose. So high level plotting functions work seamlessly with Pandas data frames. Okay, so Seaborn helps create informative and attractive plot with less code. In the earlier session, we have seen that we have to define many things in Matplotlib in order to make a enhanced visualization. Otherwise, what Matplotlib do is basically it creates a basic visualization for us. But in order to change its line, its padding, or etc., anything that you want to add in that graph, you have to do on your own. So there is a lot of coding involved and lot of things you have to remember it. But in Seaborn, you don't have to remember all these kinds of things. You will only use the function and it will create for you automatically and enhanced visualization. We will see with live examples in VS Code later on. So why use Seaborn? Seaborn is basically preferred if you want to use less code than Matplotlib. And in today's era, in today's scenario, nobody wants to write code. Okay, the less the code you write, the more is the outcome. You have your focus will be shifted on the outcome rather than writing the code. Okay, so it requires less code and than Matplotlib, and basically delivers the same outcome as Matplotlib gives us. Automatically handles aggregation, statistical calculation. We will see that. Like we have seen what are aggregated functions like sum, average, min, max. These all things are handled by it automatically. It's pre-built in it. You cannot, you don't have to write the logic for it separately. And statistical calculations are also performed by it automatically. You only need to use the function and then forget that how to implement it. It will implement on its own. Produce clean and professional looking plots. Okay, is ideal for EDA, exploratory data analysis. We will be going through EDA a lot in the later on sessions, but for now, consider EDA like you want to explore the data on whole different level in a very professional visualization form. Then Seaborn is very useful there because you have to plot professional plots. In Matplotlib, in order to modify a thing, you should know that particular thing, that okay, if I want to do this, then I have to use this variable or this function. But what if you don't know? Then you have to Google it or search it. But what Seaborn does is it automatically includes customization, styling inside the functions, and then it implements on your chart that you are using. So Seaborn focuses more on data understanding rather than manual styling. In Matplotlib, what we were doing is manual styling, but in Seaborn, we will not be doing that. We will only use the functions and then forget everything. Okay, and we will focus on how data looks like or what data is telling us through the visualizations. So first step before using Seaborn is, as we know, Seaborn is a Python library. And in order to work with a Python library, first step that you have to take is you have to install that library in your uh, Python environment. So we will use this command pip install Seaborn. I have already used it in the terminal. And then it will automatically install this library for you in your Python environment. After that, once it is installed, then we will import the Seaborn. You can use the alias whatever you want, like we will use SNS. We need to import Matplotlib also as PLT. Okay. Seaborn handles plotting. Remember these 2 points. And Matplotlib handles rendering. What is rendering? Seaborn will plot the graph according to the data set which you are having. But in order to show that graph on the screen, you have to use Matplotlib functions like plt.show. Okay, so the output will be shown through Matplotlib, but the designing of the output will be done by Seaborn. We will not have to write each and every line again and again, like I want these type of lines, I want this color in my graph. Things can be handled by Seaborn. So once you have imported it, then we will use some pre-built data sets. There are two options. You can use CSV file also if you want to use, and you can use the pre-built data set that are already present in Seaborn for you. So in order to practice, okay, it's for your practice only. Whichever method you want to follow, you can follow that method. Some of the data sets that are included in Seaborn are tips, iris, Titanic, and penguins. So these are the data sets. They contain different types of information, and these are the names of data set. Like we were using session 25 CSV file for to load, and then we will make Python understand, okay, this is the data, and then we started working on it. So this is the same thing like that only. Now instead of using Pandas to read the CSV file, what we will do is we will load the data set that is already present in Seaborn library. Like here we are importing, we are loading tips data set. Then we Python will come to know, okay, this is the data set that is with me, and this is the data set that you are going to work upon it. Okay, so first step before using anything in data analytics, what you do is you import your data set. Earlier what we were doing is we were loading our data set from CSV. Now we are loading the data set that is already present in Seaborn. These are not the data set that you will be getting many times. Your data many times, most of the times your data set will be present in CSV format that the company will provide you. Then you will use the traditional method that we were using. But this is how you can use built-in dataset in order to practice. We will see in the examples. So let's move to the example first. And also these data sets help beginners practice visualization without loading external CSVs. So you need not to search for external CSVs in order to practice visualization if you have Seaborn installed in. Okay, let's move to the live examples. I hope the font is visible to you. So let's start. First step that we have to follow is we have to import our Seaborn library that we have installed in Python. Seaborn as SNS. Next, we are going to import our what we call Matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. Okay. Now we have imported our libraries that are required for visualization. Now what we will do is either we can read this session 25 Seaborn CSV file, which has almost 8 entries. But I will show you how to load pre-built dataset so that you can practice on different data sets that are present, and I have named them in the PPT also. So what you will do is you will use alias of Seaborn, then you will use dot load dataset, and you have to mention the name of the dataset that you want to use. Like we are using tips. So and let's see how our dataset looks. So we will write df in order to see whether we are importing it or not. Okay, now this is how our dataset looks like. It has almost 244 rows into 7 columns of entries. How much data is there? A large amount of data is there. Okay, and it will be good to see how it differs from one plot to another plot. How we will do it? Has columns, say 7 columns, like total bill, how much total bill is paid, tip, how much tip is given. Then it is mentioning the sex, basically gender, female, male or female. Then smoker, non-smoker or smoker, yes or no. Then day of the week, on which day they have come to that restaurant, particular restaurant. Timing, basically it refers to what at what timing they arrived, like they arrived for dinner, lunch or breakfast. Size, it mentioned the group size, how many people were present in that group, like 2 people were present in this group, then again 2 will in third group. Okay, so this is how our data set looks like. We will be working on this data set. In order to view its more information, what you will do, you will use df.info. It will give you some more insights on your dataset, like total bill is a floating type value, tip is a floating type value, sex, smoker and day are categories, time is also a category, means it is using characters, and size is basically of int type. Okay, so this is how our data set looks like overall with their data types. Now we will start working upon it, and let's plot first graph now. Okay, before going on the graph plotting, let's go through the PPT. Till now, we know how to import our data set through Seaborn. If you want to import it, if you want to import this session 25 PPT, what you have to do is you have to use then pandas. Import pandas as PD. Then you will do the earlier thing that we were doing, like you can use DE now equal to PD dot read CSV. Okay. Then you will mention the this session 25 name here. Then it will get loaded. Then you can start work upon your own CSVs. But now let's see how we will work with pre-built data sets that are present in Seaborn for practice. Okay. Let's move to the PPT. So we have completed our steps till here. Now let's move to the next slide. Okay. So next slide shows us that how to plot what we call it line plot. Okay, so it is used to show trends and patterns. Remember, over time it can be done, or it can be done different times. So best used when data is numeric or value changes continuously, and you want to see trends over time, that I was telling you earlier. Okay, over the time how trends are changing. Like now there is a craze in 2000s to buy a Nokia phone. Okay, then the craze went to Samsung phones. Okay, after that, as the time passes, then Apple introduced its products, and then the craze went to iPhones. Now iPhone craze is very high in today's market. So it is basically what it is showing us is that the trends over the time that keeps on changing, their value continuously changes up and down like this, and their data is numeric. How we are finding out about the trend is basically the number of products that are getting sold in that particular year, particular month, or particular period of time. Okay, so line plot is used to show trends and patterns. Let's see how it is done. So now, since we have created the alias for Seaborn, we can use SNS, then line plot, PLT. Then on x-axis, you have to mention the variable that you want. Like we are going to use the size of the group. And also one interesting thing I will tell you here. Let's see after it is get plotted. Then total bill. Okay. uh, we have to mention our data frame also here. Df, oh sorry, data equal to df, which data it has to use. Okay, now we will use plt dot title. Let's give the title group size versus total bill. Okay. Now we have to use matplotlib function in order to render this graph. Plt.show. Okay. Let's see how our line plot looks like. There is some error in it. Let's see. ओके, टोटल बिल के बीच में अंडरस्कोर है. Okay, so there was a spelling mistake there. Now as you can see, let me zoom out a bit. This is how our graph looks like. Okay, it is getting plotted through Seaborn, and we have not done anything. But look how catchy this looks like. One thing you may notice is that there is some light blue color besides this dark blue line. Okay, what it shows is that, okay, if the group size was 1, then the average total bill of group size 1 is this at this point. If group size is 2, then the average group size 2 bill was this. Okay. Similarly, if the group size was 3, then the average group size was group's total bill was this. Now, why I am using the average word again and again? If you can see the data set clearly, there are several groups of group size 2, like 2 is here, 2 is here, 2 is here, then 2 is here, 2 is here. So what Seaborn is doing is, it is getting the total bill of these group size 2, then calculating the average of for group size 2, average for total bill. Okay, then it is plotting the graph considering that average. Means it is showing if the person in the group is are the number of person in a group are 2, then the amount of bill that they will pay on average will be somewhere this, approximately 15. Okay, and this light blue shade which is beside this dark blue line is basically how much values vary from one and another. If the group size was 2, some people may have ordered the dishes that are less, that have less cost or less costlier. Okay, so they might have paid the minimum bill, and some have ordered the costlier dishes, so they might have paid the higher bill. Suppose there are 3 groups of size 2. One group's total bill is 14, another group's total bill is 15, and third group's total bill is 16. So it is showing that the value range is from 14 to 16, but the average is 15. Okay, so these all things are getting calculated by this what we call Seaborn by itself. Otherwise, if we were using Matplotlib in order to use this thing, then we have to use group by function. You have learn about that group by. Then we have to use group by size like this. Okay, group by function, then size, and then like this we were using like, then bracket, then total bill, and then after that total bill we will use mean function in order to calculate the average. So we have to write all these things unnecessarily if we want to calculate the average. But what Seaborn does is it automatically takes the average, because it is intelligent enough that, okay, if there are multiple groups of size 2, then obviously if you want to plot the graph for different sizes of group and the revenue generated from them, then you have to take the average. In everything you have seen that why we need average, because average gives the middle value between them. You will be sure, okay, if someone pays higher, someone pays lesser, at least I will be able to get this much on daily basis. I will be able to earn this much on daily basis. So this is how Seaborn help us in plotting line graph. Okay, let's move to this slide now. Now let's see about bar plots. They are used to compare categorical data. Categorical data means basically when you have to deal with some numbers on y-axis, but on x-axis you are having some categories, like we are having smokers, yes or no. We are having genders, male and female. These are all categorical data. And categorical data, how can you identify it? As I have shown you in this example, when we write df.info, then their data type is shown to us, like this is floating value, this is category value. So this is how we came to know that okay, this is categorical value. If you want to plot categorical values, then you should use bar plot at that time. Calculates the mean and shows the confidence interval. We will see in the example how it is done. Let's see. SNS dot, instead of line plot we will use bar plot. Then x equal to, let me zoom it a bit, x equal to day. On x-axis we are plotting the day, then on y-axis we are plotting total. So it will give us the average on particular day, how much sales has been done, total bill. Then we have to use data equal to df. Okay, then eld dot title average sales by day. Then we have to use plt dot show. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, this is how it's looks like. Okay, so it is telling us that on Thursday you have average sales of approximately between 17 and 18. On Friday you are having average sales slightly below. On Saturday it was higher, and on Sunday it was way much higher. Okay, so all these things are done by what we call uh, basically like Seaborn. Sorry, I was forgetting this word. So this is how it looks like. Now you might be confused what these sticks are. It is basically how much value vary from here to there. Their average is lies there. Like in the earlier graph, you were getting an idea through this light blue color. Now you are getting the idea through sticks. If someone has paid 20 rupees and someone has paid 16 rupees, then the average is between them at 18 rupees. Okay, like this. Similarly, you can go for other type of graphs also. Like if we see in this, so we are clear with bar graph. Now let's see what scatter plot is used for. Used to understand relationship between variables. Okay. See how if the bill was this much, then how much tip was given to, basically like that thing. So it is used for correlation patterns and outliners, but between two variables, like we are using here total bill intake. Okay, so let's see how scatter plot looks like in the example. SNS dot, we will use scatter plot. Then on x-axis you will use total bill. On y you will use tip. Then the data equal to df. Today we are going to only cover the basics. Other things that are advanced things like customizing and anything else, that will be covered in tomorrow's session. Seaborn advanced. Title, total bill versus tip. Then plt dot show. Okay, let's see. So these are the values in the scatter plot that looks like here. The dots are overlapping on that, basically showing the correlation between the tip and the what we call this total. This is how our scatter plot looks like. Now let's see another thing. Scatter plot is done. Then histogram with KED plot. So the difference between bar graph and histogram is that, like in bar graph, it is used for categorical things. If we see technically and visually, we will see that bar graph has some spaces between the bars. And histogram is used for numerical things, not categorical things, numerical things. And it doesn't have space between its bars. It is basically the designing that is done here. And the line that this curve that you are seeing is basically KDE. Okay, kernel distribution type, this basically thing, which is used to show you the pattern in the data in the form of a curve, that how your data is moving. Like you can see your data is moving like this word in the upward direction, then here it started moving down, then in up, and then this down. So used to understand data distribution. Histogram is used for frequency distribution, basically for numerical statics. KDE, smooth probability curve. We call it a smooth probability curve, which tells you how your data varies from, or your how you, or you. It can be used to identify the pattern in the data. If I will say it simply. Okay, so it is used to identify the pattern in the data. KD gives a better visual understanding of distribution shape, like how your data is moving up and down. It gives an additional information. So let's see this histogram distribution first without KDE, then with KDE, so that you can understand the difference between it. So in order to plot the histogram, we will use SNS dot hist plot, then df, then total will, then plt dot title. You can use any title you want, like and distribution of total will. Okay, then we will render it plt dot show. Okay. So this is how your histogram basically looks like. Okay. Now, if you want to use KDE, what you will do is only write KDE equal to TRU, capital T. Why it is showing this error? Okay, spelling mistake. TRU. Now you can see that a smooth curve is coming up here, showing how our data is varying from earlier and then again decreasing. Okay. It is basically the frequency and this is the total. So distribution of data and KD used for this curve. Now let's move to another chart. Styling and themes in histogram. So in order to modify in history, I was saying histogram in Seaborn, in order to use different styles, you will use set style. It will give in this you will write white grid, then it will basically give the background like this in the picture you are seeing. And set platelets vary, it depends on other different things. I will show you now. Styling options have dark grid, dark, white, ticks, different types of styling. Also, there are present many more stylings. Even I don't remember everything, so you can Google it for different styles if you want. But these are some common stylings that are done in this thing. So let's see one example regarding it also, how to do styling. Uh, Code, then SNS dot. We will use set style function sytl. Then, as we have seen, like we will use white grid. After this, we will use SNS dot whichever plot you want to plot, bar plot x equal to day, and then y equal to total bills. You have to remember the spellings. If there is a spelling mistake, you will encounter a name error. Dear. Then plt dot titl. Bar dot. Then we will use plt dot show. Now the grid is coming in the background, as you can see in this bar plot. Earlier our bar plot was like this, simple. Okay. Or if you want to use dark grid, then we will use dark grid instead of white grid. Like this. Now there is some type of gray shade behind this thing. Okay. Okay. Now let's move to our PPT. Wait. Okay. Now let's move to our next slide. Also, if you want to use platelet, then you will use set platelet, Veridis, or you can use any other platelet. Like there is one named called PASTEL, pastel, basically. Okay, so there are other platelets like deep, mutate. Okay, so many more things are present in styling. If you Google it, like how to do styling and themes in Seaborn, you will see many things. But main functions are these only, like set style and set platelet. So set style will set the background styling, and set platelet is basic for this. Moving to the next slide. Okay. So we have covered the basics of Seaborn in today's session, and the advanced things and advanced styling will be covered in the upcoming session. So for the assignment regarding today's session will be like the as you are seeing on the screen, like using the Seaborn built-in tips dataset, or you can use any other dataset. It is not restricted to tips only. For performing the following, you have to load the dataset first, then create a line plot showing the relationship between group size, total bill, create bar plot to compare average total bill by day, create scatter plot showing the relationship between total bill and tape, create histogram to display the distribution of total bill, You can use other data set and do the same operations on that also. It will be very helpful for your own understanding. Then submit all those code with visualization on this form. uh, if you want any support or help, you can contact us here. And then thank you for joining today's session.